All right, hello. So as a part of this module, we're going to look at alignment. And really what alignment means is that the whole system is aligned instead of what we can say misaligned. Yeah, so you can almost see it like this, misaligned. We're not aligned, we're not clear. Alignment essentially means like we're living in our true essence. We're living in our truth and we're able to feel that in our system and to speak that and take actions from that place. Yeah, so the whole system becomes just one aligned vessel. And as the actions we take, they sort of invite us to become even more aligned to our system internally, speak, action. Yeah, so it kind of becomes this real beautiful feedback loop that starts to create itself in life as you become more aligned. Now, the other way around is, of course, the same. If we don't listen fully to our truth and we don't really honor that, and we kind of do something or say something or make particular choices that aren't really fully aligned, it becomes over time, like we're kind of see it as a pathway we're kind of creating. Like if you ski and you ski down the same pathway, that pathway becomes deeper. Yeah. So if we've done that for a while, it can sometimes feel difficult. What's really our truth and what isn't? Yeah. And if we've had particular parenting in childhood where we weren't really allowed to really feel our own truth, feel our authentic yeses and nos, which is very, very important as for any human, particularly for women, but also for men. It's very, very, very important that we know what to say yes to and what to say no to. And it's actually a really big part of this work. What is our yes and really an authentic yes, and what is an authentic no? And if we've been, again, so coming back, if we've been misaligned for that for a while, it's kind of like I'm just drawing it like this, but I'm kind of like operating on this way, and I don't even really know I'm misaligned because it feels so familiar. Yeah. And this is where we really need to get nuanced, because familiarity doesn't necessarily, most often actually not, mean that it's aligned. Yeah. So this as you see here, this human body with the head, the heart, and the gut, it's really a good opportunity to start to really look into what is a real full embodied yes, and what is a real full embodied no. Now, as you go through your day, there are constantly things that you are either saying yes or no to. And a lot of these things are habituated. Are you having a coffee in the morning? Yes or no? Are you taking a shower? Yes or no? Are you doing a workout? Yes or no? What are you choosing to eat? Yeah, so there's all these choice points, and most of them are habituated. And if they work, they work. Yeah, you work out every morning and that's what you do, but you kind of feel free in that and you feel you have a choice. That's very important. Let's say you work out every morning, even though it's kind of like we can say it's a good, quote unquote, good habit. Yeah, because it's healthy and so on, yada yada. But it becomes rigid because actually in this particular context, let's say you're on holiday and you're with friends and that's just not possible for whatever reason, and you feel sort of stressed or agitated around it, you don't have a choice anymore. You're actually stuck in that. Yeah. And that's, we see this really a lot also in intimate relationships, and in intimate relationships really is really a reflection of our relationship with our parents. So we see it in a relationship with our parents and or our caretakers, and then we see it in relationship with team members. Yeah, so at work and colleagues. Yeah, and then if there's a boss, quote unquote boss, then we can see it there because there's that similar authority situation happening, which is also very much reflective of childhood and also schooling systems. Yeah, and then of course with kids, because then there's that authority student or um, the authority and the sort of the receiver is also at play. So we're constantly playing with these dynamics. But yeah, focus on so all of these areas in your life, we're constantly saying yes or no to particular things. Have you noticed that? First and foremost, let's just stop there. Have you noticed that you're constantly making choices and how a lot of these choices are habituated, which is really useful. We can't by everything we do consciously think. Some choices are habituated and it works really well. I go every morning to the toilet and it's just kind of happening. It's not that I'm choosing to do that. And at some point in this developmental process, there is actually stages which we really go into third tier. So we go into indigo, and really more towards enlightenment, where we don't really make choices anymore. It's simply happening because we're so operating in truth that it's simply true, and so we're operating in that way. However, for now, as a part of this conscious leadership framework, and as a part of where we are as humans, for most of us on the planet, is it's really powerful to start to really tune into your system again, get attuned to the bodily sensations. Where are you in alignment and where are you not in alignment, and how do you know? That is a really good question to ask yourself, right? And this is going to be unique for all of us. How does the body tell me that it's a yes? And how does the body tell me that it's a no? And really what I want to speak into there. So for me, if I take myself as an example, a yes for me means I feel relaxed in my gut. That's a very important indicator for me. So my gut is sort of like my organs are, so the gut, the organs are like relaxed. There's a certain level of softness, yeah, in that space for me. The heart feels open for me. This is for me. The heart feels open, and it feels clear, it feels clean, and the mind or the head feels clean. So there's a cleanliness there, there's a quality of cleanliness there for me. Now that's when there's an authentic yes for me. It's like really clear, authentic yes. When there's a no, for me, the gut tends to sink and it gets heavy and constricted. So the way I feel that in my gut is a constriction and a heaviness. It's almost like this I feel gutted, literally, like it's this crock that starts to happen. The heart feels somewhat closed, and the heart for me doesn't have a direction. So it can get either left or right, and it's kind of just not clear. Yeah. So there is kind of, for me, my heart pulls in different directions, and I feel the pull. It's almost like the energy in some way floats this way and also somewhat flows that way. Whilst with the aligned yes, I feel this sort of like, it's almost like this straight energy. So it's like this. This is for me personally, and this is why I'm just sharing my example, because it's really important that we all feel into our own systems, and that's how we actually get to know ourselves more, which is really the main intention here of this program. So we're going to go further. So if it's a no for me in the head, it feels really foggy. So I just feel foggy, doesn't feel clear. I can feel maybe pressure behind my eyes, and it's just not, yeah, it's not clear and aligned, like with the embodied yes, right? So I have pretty good indicators how it feels in the body. Now, sometimes what might happen is that actually the head is a yes. So okay, that's clear. The heart might even be a yes, feels pretty clear. And then the gut feels off, it feels off, yeah? That for me is a sign that I'm not aligned fully with my 3 main energy centers. So I'll listen, I'll ask the body with curiosity. So not with an attempt to sort of fix, yeah, or get rid of something, or to really understand because I really need to know. That's not the energy. It's just real light, gentle curiosity. Cool, what are you here to tell me? What's off here? I might just ask that question. Often some sort of answer comes. Or I sit in silence and I just sort of allow the space for that energy to be there. So I feel that grokking or the heaviness. And I just allow that energy to be there. And sometimes for me, actually, I need to go to the toilet after, because it's literally a release of energy. And I just wait and listen. Yeah. So I can either have a gentle conversation with it, which needs to come from a place of curiosity. If I'm not coming from a place of curiosity, it's not going to happen. The answer is not going to come. So it needs to happen from a place of curiosity, or the energy just kind of releases itself. Sometimes it's more an answer that I get in the forms of actual sort of subtle words, actually, that sort of come through. And sometimes it's just a sort of a feeling really subtly in the background. It's sort of a feeling of relaxation that starts to wash over my whole body. So it's a washing away of something. And again, this is my experience. So I want you to really tune in to what's your truth in that. However, it is the basically the skills that we're providing here is really listening to these three main energy centers, and really listening, is the head, the heart, and the gut really aligned? And if it's an embodied yes, like a sacred embodied yes, and or a sacred firm loving no, both the yes and the no are aligned. So often, not always, but sometimes, people tend to think that a no means something is not aligned. That is not true. That is not true. When it's a real good no, it's aligned. When it's a real good yes, it's aligned. So both a yes and a no can be aligned. It just depends on how it's used or in which context. And as a matter of fact, most of us need to learn how to say no rather than yes. Yes is probably easier for most of us, because in some way, shape, or form, we've been conditioned and have learned that we need to kind of sort of people please, even though that doesn't have to be across the board or doesn't have to be that obvious, but sort of need to agree a little bit with someone or something and just kind of go with the flow. And this is, again, particularly for women, because women have been from ages back learned to just kind of go with the flow. But what is happening more for men these days is that men are not clear on their yes and no's either. And that is actually a really healthy masculine that we really want to embody here. So which is not to do with man and female or male and female. We're really just talking about the masculine quality in all of us, which is this real clear boundaries as well. Yes, no, both of those are boundaries, yeah? So that's what we're learning here. That's what we're really getting clear on here. So start to explore this for yourself and start to really get in tune with these three centers in the body, these energy centers. And you can almost see them as discs. So you can see the head, the heart, the gut as discs that can either be too open or too closed, or too much left or right, or kind of, you can almost see them as discs that are kind of moving, yeah? And what we're learning here is how to really move them in a way where we're just super in tune to. We almost can hear our own heartbeat saying what is really true for us, and we can feel the intuition of the gut really saying what's true for us. So I hope this is useful. If you have any questions or you'd like to have any conversation about this particular piece, bring it into the conversations in the group chat or in the chat in school. And yeah, enjoy. Good luck.